All right, so the meeting is going. All right, folks, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I will call this meeting to order at 7:04 PM on October 24th, 2022. We do have a quorum. I don't know about Adam. I don't think he has his email set up yet, and I didn't forward it to his personal, so I am gonna count him absent for this evening. Looks like we got all the movers and shakers out there, so welcome. So this is gonna be the first part of this meeting, and if it takes the entire meeting, will be about strategic planning for our budgets. So Deb, do you wanna have the gavel, ma'am, and I'm gonna focus the microphone your way a little bit.
Well, we had talked about how everybody wanted a chance to do a deeper dive into the budget, what the numbers are, how they're made up. I talked last week about how the budget is made up in about June, May, June of the previous fiscal year, and all the board looks at it a couple times and then votes on it in August. Each chairperson is asked at that time to give input to the treasurer to know how much money they need, how the budget that was drafted looks to them. And so we've all seen this a couple times. No one of us owns it. I didn't make it up any more than any of you did, but this is the budget that was designed to, if we follow this budget, we should have enough money to pay all our bills if we get all the expected income revenue through the year. So what I handed out to you were a couple packets. One is the actual experience July 21 through June 22 and the budget for that fiscal year. So you can see what we actually received as income, what we actually spent. The other item that I handed out to each of you
Bless you.
is this new year's budget that started July 1st, as well as our experience for the first quarter. And this is just a little bit over the first quarter because of the way that it's set up on QuickBooks. So it runs about a week over the quarter, but you know, that's relative. So you can see what we spent in 3 months out of the 12 compared to the budget that we have. And then you notice as you look at this, that down the left side of the page, each type of income, each type of expense has an account number. So income is account 4,000, and then all the different kinds of income are 4,000 through 4,200. And I did ask our CPA why these don't come out in exact numerical order. He said he didn't know. So anyway, it's not how I run it. It's just the way it's set up in QuickBooks. But anyway, so just looking at this P&L, you can see the top half of the first page is our expected income. Budget being the right column and the center column being what we experienced the first quarter. And then going on down through the bottom of that page and the next 2 pages, you see all our different categories of expenses. And each one has that account number over on the left. Okay, so then the next bunch of pages that you have are detail that I printed out on a number of these that I thought you might have questions about. And so these are in numerical order And I wrote the number of the account number in a little larger numbers, in case you appreciated larger numbers. But anyway, you can see each time that account was expensed for the first quarter. So these are our expenses through the first quarter. So some of these, if we go back to these first 3 pages of this year's P&L, you can go down and you can see what the budget is versus what we spent. Like I mentioned the other day, for some of these categories, there wasn't any budget set up for this year. So for example, the ACC inspectors, we had no budget. So we've had 4 house inspections that we paid our inspectors for. We're 800 over budget there. We're a little over budget on overtime. We've said overtime has to be stopped because we're over budget. Sick leave was a COVID situation. We don't typically have that. So really, I gave these to you a week ago, and I know some of you were looking hard at them and had questions. No, you had questions. You had questions, and there's nothing wrong with that. That was the whole idea, to give you a chance to try to understand where the numbers came from. And
So when you have a question for you,
sure,
I'm looking at Q1 versus budget. So July 22 to June 23 versus budget. So what we're at on the left-hand column here is what we spent to date. And then the budget is the total budget. It's not a
for
prorated
the whole
budget.
year. There's no proration in QuickBooks.
Okay.
So that's why I have to run the whole year
Okay.
to show up here.
So this one thing to note right out of on the first page, we need to fix ACC inspectors. Either it comes out of the construction bond money, but we need, if we're gonna have a category for it, we need to pull that out of there.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, so everybody agrees with that.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, it's probably from back in the day, but it's $200 per home inspection. And I know that you have to have a LLC or something in order to claim that money. That's what Getty told me. when I-
Well, you have to have,
It's less than $800 a year. You don't have to claim it. But
Yeah,
let me say this,
well,
much. I
actually,
don't mean to
have it
interrupt
right
you.
here. There's the agreement.
I will tell you that because we are, even though it's a volunteer position, because we are paying them, I think unless they make less than 800, I don't even know if this applies, but we are going to cover their workers' comp if at the end of the year we get audited and they are not an LLC with workers' comp. And if you don't, well, if you don't have at least 5 employees, you don't have to get it, but that's
I
like
never took the
a
money.
time bomb that's
so-
waiting to go off.
I think we should probably talk to the ACC and be able to get a consensus on this. I don't think that- Yeah.
Or last Tuesday about that up.
Okay.
I would like to see it go away.
I think so too.
Deb, if I just add that,
Mhm.
how this year's budget had started was at the time they started, you take last year. And typically you're gonna have about 9 months of last year, and then we add in the prior year's 3 months that haven't come up yet. So it's like we can go July through April and pull that in, that real information, and then we have to use the preceding years, May, June, July. And then once we get down to the final budget, we'll pull in more actuals to it. So it really starts with a baseline of last year's actuals, and then we adjust it by, for example, we know next year, the dredging fund and the ICF fund expense is gonna go up higher because it's a percentage of the collected revenue, so it will get budgeted at a higher amount than it was this year. If we know that, you know, a contract we sign is going to have a price increase to it, we know to up the budget, so that's how it all starts.
Couple questions I have on page 2. Explain to me how we have any overtime. Tom, your salary, right?
Yeah.
We don't pay sick leave for part-timers, do we?
We had,
Office
I have
staff?
to, no, this wasn't actually office staff. It was Tom's crew. We had one person who had COVID
Okay,
last year and we had elected to pay
I
him.
remember
And
that.
then another person had COVID and so the office automatically paid him for that. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any sick pay.
okay, but this shows from July 22nd on,
Mhm.
so that's gotta be
This
office
year.
staff. This year, July and August,
Mhm.
September, maybe?
Mhm.
And that's for maintenance?
We have one direct month.
2,800 seems awful excessive for one person or two people. Okay,
2,800.
Sick
Sick leave is only
800.
800. It was overtime that was 2,800.
right, I mean, that's what I'm talking about, overtime. I'm sorry if
Okay,
I said
so-
sick leave.
Yeah, I had looked into that overtime. I printed out a schedule.
I just question it because we're only 3 or 4 months into the budget and we already got
Yeah,
that
we had,
kind of number.
we had a person who was working a lot of overtime and that's been put to a stop.
Okay. Yeah, I was aware of the sick leave, so that wasn't a question.
On the overtime is like Wendy contacting you if there's a situation that they run into that they need overtime for to get it approved, or is it just Wendy's?
Well, we had said no more overtime. So I was thinking you were gonna talk to Wendy, but I'll be glad to do also to just.
Well, no,
say
Well,
if-
it should be both of you, really.
I mean, she knows already no more overtime, but I was just asking, do we, if
Set the
there- if
precedent,
there's a
yes.
scenario where it has to happen, are you okay with Wendy approving it? Does she escalate it to you or I to approve it?
Definitely the rest of this year, she has to go through you two, because we're
Okay.
already 800 over budget.
I think any overtime needs to be approved by the board.
Is the overtime based on 8 hours or 40 hours?
40
40 hours.
in the state of Missouri it is.
I mean, it's understandable, like Tom's crew in winter weather kind of stuff, and we would, absolutely.
Right, no, I
approve
understand that.
But this was very little maintenance. It was almost like 90% office.
Okay,
And so, yeah, I agree that we should just make that a clear expectation that it needs to be approved ahead of time.
and I would say, just thinking out loud here, what we're going through right now is something we need to do at least this detailed when you present the budgets, because I'll be honest, I'm as guilty as anybody. I look at it and I just assume who's ever doing it knows what the heck's going on and don't pay a whole lot of attention to the details of it and just look more at the overall strategy.
Well,
But
in the past, to your point, in the past, it's just been handed out and here's the budget, take a look and tell me if you have any concerns. And the problem with that approach is you say, okay, that looks good. And nobody says, oh, wait a minute, you need X dollars to pay for this. And then you look at this budget and you can't find where to get it.
Just not autopilot.
Mhm.
But that was my main concern with the budget too, is, obviously these budgets start from the fiscal year previous. So if we have a big expense, like the office chairs and printer updates and things like that from the year previous, that budget just copy and paste goes in the next year. So all of a sudden, I think in here we have $7,000 annually for office equipment.
But they've spent over half of it already.
That's my concern.
Mhm.
My concern is that exactly.
Right.
So if you have $7,000, the federal government, if you have $7,000, you'll spend $7,000. So that's my concern is, we're in crisis mode. We're talking about overtime and things like that. And then there's $1,000, $1,100 worth of office chairs. It's
Well,
like
it was actually, I think it was just one chair was broken. It was broken.
$1,000 for one chair.
Was it, where did you see it?
I just threw 5 of them away.
It is top line on the first transaction by detail,
On account number,
6090 office supplies. It's the first breakdown.
90.
The
Second
fifth page
page.
of the thick one.
I showed second, oh,
6090 office supplies. Oh, I didn't read that to be all office chair. But, you know, I definitely will look at that because we don't need $1,000 office chair in this.
That's what I'm saying. I think that, when you sent in the last board meeting we had, I
Mhm.
think that one explicitly said office chairs. That's where I got that idea from. I didn't read it
Okay.
off the.
Well, I'll look at that because, yeah, I agree. That's,
That might actually be the printer. I believe I talked to Wendy and she said her chair was 200. I could be mistaken though.
There's a $200 Walmart charge on here.
yeah, the thing that makes these hard to do analysis on is that it only tells you who they paid. And so they paid Amazon,
Well, we should be getting
Walmart.
receipts, right?
Well, that we'll have to dig into in the file.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, it
I'm just
just, you
saying, yeah,
can't pull it out on the
process-wise,
report. Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is there's stuff in here that, you know, air purifiers, cleaning supplies, water, paper towels, toilet paper for the bathhouse. Those aren't necessarily office
Yeah,
supplies. So,
That's why I
I think
listed
it-
those down
yeah,
because they're
and-
not what you would normally
you know, I
think of.
think in sometimes with this stuff is they're gonna, and the CPA will back this. They said, you're gonna collapse some of these things because otherwise this thing will be 200 pages long and you'll have one item or two items for a year in a category.
the only thing that
You know.
even piqued my attention is that we have a $7,000 annual office budget for administration supply costs, which seemed high. That's $580 a month for office supplies. Then I asked Deb to dive into it. First thing on there was $1,000. I don't know whether it was an office chair or printer or whatever the case may be. That immediately piqued my attention. That's what even brought me to this. So I'm not trying to nickel and dime anybody. It's just.
Well, yeah,
conversation.
The printer wouldn't even be in there because we have office equipment that's separate for 1,500. So again, I think a lot of this, what we're doing now needs to be done
Yeah. clean it
at
up.
least twice prior to approving a budget. I see the overtime on 6090, it kind of concerns me.
Hopefully, next year you'll all be, because 5 of the board members were all new in their role. We were going through the budget this year too, so it's like,
Well, in all
you know, we
fairness,
learned.
this was the typical process we've gone through in the many years
Yep.
that I've been sitting here. It's just a matter of
I
pretty
mean,
much accepting.
That's another
but with 5 of us not knowing
If
what
they
the
had
heck we
equipment,
didn't know yet.
accordingly.
Depreciated over 3 years. too.
isn't that should be a depreciation.
Yeah, so if you don't allocate for it in the correct spot, the depreciation will never hit. So right here, you kids like taking this out of petty cash, you're not getting any benefits out of it.
Right.
And we spent $3,517 in 4 months.
There's a certain number for depreciation though, and you
Mhm.
can't.
Yeah,
No,
we
yeah,
had, what did we say it is? Is it 500? We made a motion to change that. I think it was, well, one of our previous treasurers had brought the motion that we depreciate anything over, I think it's over $500. So I know that it's been a thought. It's not,
Our capitalization's 5,000 or.
I was like, 500 is pretty low.
well,
And they just raised it from 2,500.
we'll have to look in the minutes or the motion book to find that. But anyway, so yeah, this is the kind of conversation we were trying to spark. What other kinds of questions? I mean, Tim,
I mean, one of the things I had asked Deb, it's her call, she's got to speak at the meeting, was that, you know, in the financial report each month, my thoughts are that we should, you know, instead of sitting here saying we've got $1.4 million in assets, you know, I mean, yeah, that's not spendable money. Is really more focus on it and just highlight. It's like, all right, if I was going down this, all right, right now, we're $104,000 short of our assessment revenue, and the assessment should all be paid by now. So, you know, we talked about the big over and under items and just, you know, what is it gonna trend that way? Are we in good shape? Otherwise, you know, that I think that stuff is more meaningful, as to where's the year sit in the
And
view of this.
One of
So,
the, tacking right onto what John just said, one of the points that our CPA was making when I was sitting with him and Wendy going through this last year's return was that when you're looking at your funds, you have to be really careful that, for example, that you're supposed to have $40,000 from the special assessment fund, but it may be that only 28,000 of it's actually been collected. And so you can't spend 40 or whatever you can't spend the whole thing. You can only spend what you've collected toward that money. So it's another part of the financial statements to be careful of and not just assume, wow, we've got total assets of over $1 million. So,
So let me ask.
we'd have,
one
we'd have to
question.
start selling them off.
yeah.
So part of the column of the budget items,
Mhm.
those are hard dollars that you guys have put in there based on the assessment that we get, right?
They're hard dollars that were calculated using the expected assessment, and then the
Okay.
budget is entered into QuickBooks. Yeah.
So just going down this with the 20,000 foot view, I see numbers in here that some have no budget,
Mhm.
like, I mean, personal property, real estate taxes, do we not pay any of that?
We do.
And we've got 1,600 budgeted for personal property, but I guess,
Personal property haven't come until December,
right, but
so it just hasn't hit yet.
okay.
I think that personal property was like 1,500 last year. Personal property was 1,558.
Some of the budgeted items that don't have a corresponding expense can all be timing related as we look through them. So that's when we look at, we're over, we're under. Is it just timing that, we know that the real estate taxes and the personal property taxes are due the end of the year, so.
Well, I think that's why you're probably better off looking at this fiscal year end detail.
The
That
last
shows,
year.
all of the last year, and I think that's probably the better way of going about it, because it's probably gonna track a similar way, but these have a.
Other than it doesn't, last year doesn't tell us how we're tracking this year. Last year's
Well,
closed and
correct,
done.
but
It could tell us that, yes, that money was spent last year.
Tracking is good, yes, but I'm worried about the leaking, right? The things that we're not thinking about, like we pay just over 10,000, almost $10,500 a year in telephones, whether they cell phones or office phones. We pay $9,200 a year for office phones. Now, if that's a normal thing, and I'm ignorant about business, but if that's a normal thing, then I understand, but maybe that could be shopped around. We pay $1,500 a year in cell phones, that's about normal.
Well, here's the other thing I'm looking at. And I understand you pulled it from our people have pulled it from previous years, but you gotta take some common sense approach to this. Under legal, we've got 34,000, general judgments, collections, and nothing for legal other,
What account are you looking at?
6190. But on 6190, that was based on a lot of previous lawsuits. One, the country club settlement. So you gotta take into consideration, okay, we've settled that.
Mhm.
God forbid, we're gonna spend $30,000 on any kind of legal. So not that I'm saying that isn't legit, but I question it because I'm looking at last year's and we spent 50 or 60, didn't we? Legal, where's legal?
Second page, Bill.
Same
Yeah,
number.
60.
It was
61.
budgeted 60, we spent 22,705 all in. So yeah, why would we go up on something that we expect to not spend near that amount? Because some of that has the country club settlement. Granted, we didn't have a whole lot of involvement from the POA standpoint, but we still spent $20,000. So
Since we didn't know, we just cut it in half. We cut the
Right.
budget in half. because we
Okay.
didn't-
And-
we
and
didn't-
If
I
you
don't
look,
know that at the time we did the budget, the settlement was done. Court approved done yet, because remember
Well,
we started this thing in.
yeah,
I want to make it something too clear
Yeah, no,
here too.
no,
We're not trying to hammer.
Oh, right,
the
no,
imagination.
no, I'm just
Yeah.
trying to answer the question.
Yeah, and don't take it that way.
Yeah,
We're not trying to just
No, I'm not.
nickel and dime you. Yeah,
You know,
we're all just trying to figure it out together.
What
that's all.
went in you know, I think going forward is, you know, I'm assuming Ted's on something.
No, not
Okay,
really.
that's why if you look at
Just,
6190 detail, you can see what we've spent this year for legal. So you can see the items that he has addressed for us this year.
Well, my other,
Trust me here for election. That probably was a big-
well, that's like general though, I think. That wouldn't be like collections or anything like that, but another thing that caught my eye here is, well, I don't know, there's two line items here. 6720 is on the second page at the, almost the very bottom.
The Chevy truck.
On page 2 of the budget here. Says fuel expense, and there's nothing there, but yet then I see it again on another page under 6729, so maybe that's just the way QuickBooks sorted it or
Yeah, I
something.
don't know why. It maybe, we've got 6721. About an inch up from the bottom, that's fuel, and we've got 8,000 spent out of an expected 15,000. Fuel could be very painful for us this year. Then we've got another 6720 fuel expense where we've spent 3,300 out of a budget of 3,000.
there a
Where do
difference
you see
between,
that
And
at?
is there a difference possibly
Right
between
here.
diesel fuel and?
I don't know why we have so many fuel expenses.
That's not that, that's for mowers.
Mowers? Oh, okay, so
And then there's another one on this page, right here, fuel expense at 1485 with zero budget on the next page. So
okay, so-
maybe it's just the way QuickBooks is doing it weird or something.
I think that whenever we have anything on here, this is one thing I was looking at with Lori and with Wendy. Anytime something says dash other and it has no budget, it means it's in the wrong place. So those, we have to do, adjustments to move those to the correct account.
Well, that's a good point that Keith just made. We have 6721 for fuel. And then we also have 6720.
It's 6720.1. Why that? You talking about for the truck?
Yeah,
So
Yeah, there's
look
two
at it,
places that-
6720.1 is the truck, and then 6720 is fuel expense other. Why it's 0.1, I don't know.
Well, and then what's weird is the total for this year, are you telling me, I guess that's possible, that, I don't know, maybe this budget just ain't lining up. It says we budgeted $1,400 for the entire 6,700 category. And what
But none
does,
of it was fuel.
no,
The
but,
1,400
what
was
I'm
for
saying-
license
right, what
renewal.
I'm seeing here is we got all these numbers in 6,700, right?
Mhm.
But the budget's down to 67, well, I don't even know where,
But Dave, this is in the wrong place.
okay.
That will take care of itself. That 1485 that's under 6720 fuel expense is gonna move up here to 6721 fuel. And then
Okay.
it'll be part of that budget.
why is this ever? Just someone labeled it wrong? They put that in there one time incorrectly and that's what showed up.
Right,
Okay.
so that's where we have to go in.
They're just putting it in.
And-
Back in or something. yeah.
And I found several of those where you show up, it shows up as an other, that it just needs to be moved.
So
and
we're
we
gonna-
can see that.
Yeah, we're gonna get into the security question that I have.
And part of this, just so you know, I couldn't get it done. The September books got closed before I was able to get into QuickBooks, so it got closed this way, but we'll get these adjusted so that
This year, will be good.
it'll line up more with, each expense will line up with the budget for that item better.
Hey, Tom, what kind of equipment are you needing to rent this year that you anticipate? Because we pretty much got everything you need other than maybe that lawnmower thing that you told me about. Okay, no. Oh, can you say something?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said, did you want to say something? Well, it looks like the,
There's only one fuel deal. That's 67.
and that's
And
right.
that's got a budget
And
of
that was
15,000, but it's on here 3 different times, so it's very
It's just got
confusing.
entered, it got entered, well, that, we know that wasn't you. That wasn't, it,
As far as
it's,
the 67-20 that was. That's the new truck.
The 2020 Chevy truck,
Yeah.
but
And
it's,
they did a point one for whatever way they had to.
you know what, that might be death. Cause it's only got a $500 budget and you've only used $38. I bet that's the diesel exhaust fluid you gotta buy. No?
Gas, right?
No. No, that's.
Oh, it is gas?
Supplies.
I thought it was a diesel.
That would be 67.
Is that truck diesel or gas?
Oh, it is?
15 gas, the old oven and stuff. You don't need to-
The dump truck. Okay.
Yeah, I think to manipulate QuickBooks, they had to do the point one.
Yeah.
So that whole category needs to be cleaned up. Which
I guess that's probably the main takeaway from this, is just kind of catch all these loose
Right.
ends,
mhm,
be able to fix it, so next time when we do look at this, we'll see all the changes.
mhm.
Be Like, oh, that makes sense, okay, perfect, so it looks more clean, so when we look at it, instead of 20,000 foot, okay, everything seems to be trending the way we talked about it, that's kind of what my point of it was.
I have a question. The pavilion and the campgrounds and bathhouse, isn't that under Lakes and Beaches?
Where, can you tell us what numbers you're looking at?
6321.
6321 and 6524. I know last year
Improvements.
the
Well-
pavilion is showing under Lakes and Beaches, but this year here it's showing up under improvement.
Well, I think the fine line, I'm thinking, this is just how I read it, is improvements versus maintenance. So improvements. Did we have to, I mean, did we add,
We painted the bathhouse,
would
Yeah,
that be maintenance?
yes.
So that,
I
I
would
mean-
say lakes and beaches.
Depends on who entered it.
Well, I think lakes
That's
and
really what it
beaches
comes
is
down.
strictly lake treatment and sand. And maybe the parking lot striping or whatever. Well, that might even be
well,
maintenance
if
too.
you look
Fish goes in it too.
Yeah, fish.
fish,
Striping and the
I
concrete
would
work.
say the bathhouse, the building, the beautification. Pavilion improvement, I think that's right, in 6,300.
porta potties, that's a pretty big expense.
We need to figure that out
Well-
too, because we have a whole bunch of them. They're
Yeah,
everywhere.
I don't even know.
well, I'm going to shop around. And so I need to know how, I guess, what is each one's costing us. Because I know I've had, quite a few requests about needing a porta potty at the fishing, the boat slips, one at each of them, because people fishing throughout the year. Plus they need to have them, because we don't open up the bathhouse for
Mhm.
people to use the restrooms and stuff when we have our Indian summers and stuff like that.
I
Would
would
it be
just say, I
possible-
mean, though, they're gonna freeze in the winter.
Porta potties, don't they put a chemical in there to keep that?
Well, I don't know, but I've had people already tell me yesterday, get rid of this porta potty down at the beach.
Why, 'cause it's freezing?
No, 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 just nobody's down there, I guess.
But I think normally after, at the end of this month, after Halloween and stuff, I think that they are taking away. Those right here.
Certainly wouldn't take it away till after.
I thought Halloween after the trunk or treat. I
Yeah,
thought that
that's
was
what-
kind of a delineation right there
Yeah.
because,
Which we can make sure, with that. But like I said, I have had several requests for at least at the boat docks and stuff, leaving with fishermen. And then, like I said, people are out and, about to be able to use them.
So what are we paying for these? So we'll go to quarter 1 budget. Where did you see those at, Tim?
Actually, I didn't see the porta potties, yeah.
they're on the detail for 6,500. And you can see, it seems like we paid a lot. And I don't know
So
if that's
that's
because
under
we had
lakes
so
and
much
beaches.
darn vandalism with them being tipped over so many times.
So
A lot of those are go construction porta potties.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
those are ours. I didn't know about it, but someone said that one of them down at the beach had been repaired, which I didn't know anything about.
Well, this is the problem. If we have too many moving parts, we'll lose track of it, right? So we'll end up paying on things that we're not supposed to pay on. So the porta potties, do you know which one of these is porta potties? I'm trying to get a dollar amount.
First up, First stop
first
services.
stop. So we got in quarter one, in 4 months, we got 1275, 1275. 420,
That's for the pavilion.
I think it was 5 total, right?
Is it 2 at the beach or 2 at the pavilion, Tim?
There's one at the pavilion,
Two at the
there's
beach.
2 at the beach.
1 at the ramp and 1 at the other lake,
Yeah.
right?
So in that,
So there's
we have paid,
5.
About
That's
4,000.
about 250 a month, right?
3515 divided by 4, it's $878 a month.
That's a lot.
You said $875 a month?
Boy,
So that,
That's over 4 months, this quarter is,
On the next page,
3
there's
months.
also a lot more in the way.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
545,
So,
420.
oh my God.
First stop, it's under.
yeah, this is for a longer,
So are all those for this year?
well,
Geez.
It looks like the date.
the first one's billed. All those July seconds. Those technically would be for last year, but those are pretty small amounts.
Last year?
Last fiscal year, June
Last fiscal-
30th.
I would say here's
Before
May, yeah, there's
July.
a bunch there for May, 'cause they got the dates on them.
So is this for July 22 through June 23? So this is for an entire year.
Yeah, this is a
For the
cash
entire
basis.
year.
If you look under the memo column that's almost in the middle, it tells you what date that bill was for.
Yeah, I see the bill. I'm just saying this is, I thought this was quarter one.
So to your point,
This is a
Deb,
cash.
where it says like 518, 518, 520, those are 400, 145. Are those total and all up to be 1275? Because then there's a line item that says invoice, June and July. No, that's all individual charges?
Those
Yeah,
were all from
That's
last
not,
fiscal year.
those wouldn't be
Based on
So
the
due.
we'll just go through it. So I got 400, 145, 26.
That's all last year. I think
Right, I'm
you got a 1275 for July, you got,
No, it says June and July on this.
Right. but then June is broken out below it. So you only got one of them, so it's 1275. August looks like it's 420, that might be the repair. I don't know where, they seem to me they're missing one in here. The September first stop is 545.
It's just that.
There's 70.
It looks like it's recounted on the, so we have the same charges in the other sheet.
I think I ran these 10 days apart. But I included the first one. Maybe I should have just torn off the top part. I wanted these extra expenses listed that come out of Lakes and
Well, let's just
Beaches.
do it this way. So we got just for June and July. So from July to October, 7, 8, 9, 10, 4 months, right? So we got 1275, 1275.
Well, you got 18,000 almost expended already, but that includes the water treatment, right?
Yep, it also includes
Yeah.
lifetime concrete.
So it looks like we're doing
Fans.
1275 a month is about what it comes down to, right?
Well, Tim, you said you were gonna do a little bit of shopping on that.
Yeah, I wanna
And so really,
shop around and see.
what we just need you to be able to do is see if you can get a better rate.
But we don't, you gotta figure out.
But we gotta know what the rate is.
Yeah,
the
well, we can help with this. We need.
Yeah, how much you charge.
We're gonna be looking like, per porta potty, how much. you know,
$1,200 a
is it?
month seems like a lot.
Mhm.
Well, because that's how, if you're doing from May to October,
It's $255 a month per porta potty. Per porta potty. So if you put one at the small, like you get to use
A
one
little
time,
less than
that
10
was an
bucks a day.
expensive usage. You see what I'm saying?
and that's something too, because the one over on Spring Lake, I don't think needs to be
And as
I
long
guess if they come here anyways, and I don't know how they break down the charges. That's something I need to find
if
out.
we have access to.
They charge by the
By the time they clean it out.
porta potty. Yeah, and well, I think having it here, the rental includes one time a week cleaning. But if you have like we did the, whatchamacallit, the cruising event or anything like, lakes and beaches or something, if it's busy or something, we have a big party or something, they sometimes make phone calls to have them come clean them out more than once a week. I've known that to happen.
Well, my argument isn't necessarily get rid of them per se. My argument is we definitely need one at the pavilion. That probably is a necessity. I think is the restroom down by the campground open through the summer?
No,
Yes.
It's locked.
Well,
You
if
have to
you
have a
rent it,
key.
it's open.
You have to have
Would
a
it be possible to just open it and then remove both
The vandalism
Yeah.
is that issue.
was it $500 a month to
You have
change
to put a
the?
camera in there.
That's fine. I'll be the first to use it. But I'm saying, is the vandalism cost us more than $500 a month to fix?
We don't know because we've never had it open.
Right, I'm just saying,
And I had a resident, all they have is a lot, and they would love to have the bathhouses open. To where if they're here, they can go to the bathhouse,
Well-
take a shower, get cleaned up. And they had suggested using the gate card
Yeah, that would
on
be.
the door to be able to, that way property owners
yeah,
would be able to get in there to be able to use it.
because we spend $15,000 a year for porta potties.
Oh, I don't.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So
Well,
we can build a new bathhouse every year. Isn't it $12.75 a month?
Well, it's not all year long.
So how many months do we have? It 8?
So like
Well, May
April
through
through
October.
So 5 months?
No.
Well, we budget 3,500 in water if everybody starts taking showers down there.
Because that budget.
Well,
Yeah.
and you will, but then you got.
For everybody that wants to save on their water bill.
Yeah. We don't fill jugs.
So that, they need new mirrors, and now they need soap dispensers.
Those are nominal things that can be fixed with the Home Depot run, you know?
Well, no, and I know that, but I'm just saying, but yes, if they are open, or there are people, then that's gonna be, it has to be added to.
Well, and what we could do too is if we're gonna be having security down there, we can have the security have a key to it. So you give them a driver's license, get the key, come back, get your driver's license, get the key back.
Yeah,
So the problem,
yeah, I'm trying to hunt one person down,
Huh?
if you gotta use the bathroom, yeah, try to hunt one security down.
and again, we haven't even touched base, we're looking at security 24 hours a week. And
Yeah. Really,
that's over.
this is probably not how we wanted to spend our whole night, but it is, it's
Well,
shows
this is a
something
great
that we want to
start,
look at. Yeah, something that we want to say, wow. Is that expense worth what we're spending on it?
Is there a better way to do it? Right.
Mhm.
Well, I think,
Just like Lacy Beaches, the treatment.
I say money aside, let's clean up the categories.
Yeah, we'll start there with this meeting. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like here's a perfect example, 6,500 is lakes and beaches, $70,000, but we have no idea what we're gonna allocate it to.
Yeah, and
So
that's
you
what I
got
was just pointing
water
out.
treatment,
Need to
fish,
be-
Same.
whatever you call it, what do you call Adam fish? Stock in the lake, you got the sand, and you probably got a miscellaneous category for the concrete like you did, or striping, or the food
Yeah.
truck. And
Well,
now here's the other thing, when the food truck comes down there, that rental that you're getting goes towards that budget. So that's a plus to that budget.
Well, I think that's very minimal. I don't even.
No, but- Well, here's another,
Yeah, it's $50.
right, I'm just saying, whatever you're taking away for, you also gotta add because the food truck's renting down there, so. I think we gotta clean these categories up first.
Some of it, remember though, is you want this thing to be 30 pages long. When you have something that's only gonna have a couple charges to it throughout the course of the year, you're not gonna cause a separate budget item.
I don't disagree with you, but I know QuickBooks enough to be dangerous that this is a perfect example. You have a total of 6,100 category or 6,500. That's why you can present this in a collapsible format. So here's your budget. If you want to see it all exploded out on 30 pages, you can, but for the purpose of, once we get them cleaned up, I think you add them in there, but collapse them as far as the report structure that we need, or maybe for people to look at.
Yeah, because I
But
think that.
we need the
right.
detail in there to get this started, I believe, especially lakes and beaches. You know, that's a high ticket item,
Yeah.
$70,000.
It needs some subcategories.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you
and
can collect, it could be 55, 10, 20, 30, 40. But you can collapse that as far as the report goes.
And you notice that one of the things that is a substantial expenditure in lakes and beaches is security.
And
Lakes
that's
and
what,
beaches.
you know, like I said, we haven't
And
gotten
so
that. yet.
I'm not sure, you know, because we had various forms or attacks at security at the beach. And only one of them is showing up in our lakes and beaches budget.
Because, you know, like I told you, if I did the math right, May through, you know, September, if that's what we wanted to do, it's 22 weeks. And if we did 24 hours a week at the current salary, that's like $10,560. You've got $6,500 budgeted.
Or just the beach.
Well, it's under, I'm looking at, because I asked Deb about it. You know,
Are you looking in?
I'm looking at the security, other. If that's our security budget, it's not enough, or we're gonna have to.
5,100.
Well, let me
You
tell
know.
you, that was based off of Ed from last year though, and he could only make what, $1,000 a month?
Yeah,
So that's why that was like
Yeah,
that,
so-
probably.
But you know, I'm just saying, we either got to find some money somewhere else, or we gotta
Well-
seriously cut things down.
what we'd love to say is we have way more than we need in legal, but
Yeah, I think
you
we
want to
do.
make that leap of faith.
Honestly, we could really, this could be way under budget or it could be way over budget. I honestly see where there's none of these categories will be used or some of them won't be
Oh, I
used.
agree.
But I also see some that are inflated that may be adjusted. And I also see others that don't have anything in them.
Because if I was, you know, if I was going to look at a budget for security and it says 65, that's what I would try, that would be the number that I would shoot for.
Mhm.
So if it's Sherry or whoever we had, you know, I'd break that down into a weekly basis and, hey, this is how many hours we're gonna have.
Mhm.
And I said, if we do the same thing we did last year, 24 hours a week at current pay for 22 weeks, you know, beginning of May or the end of September.
But beach security was kind of skewed too, because you had Ed, you had a big chunk of that.
No,
which-
I know, but I'm going by what
That was
Sherry makes,
Oh, yeah.
pre-fiscal though.
you
That
know.
was pre-fiscal year, I believe, wasn't it? Before July.
I don't know when we had our different,
I guess for the
Folks
purpose of
working
this
there.
meeting, we all agree that the income categories are pretty spot on, right? The only not, I've corrected myself here, that food truck should be an income category. So minor adjustments in the income side.
You have a fresh one, Deb, we can kind of take some notes out there with you.
No, I'm just gonna write food truck. What else do we get money for other than what's already on here? Anything? You got campground, right? Campground rental fee.
Pavilion. Stickers.
Miscellaneous fees and income. I would like to see what is 4360 ain't gonna be in here, is it? No. But I would like to see what 4360, what $430. I mean, just why is it there?
And we only have a certain amount of things. So here's a question for you, Deb, in the office. That receipt for the fuel comes through. Who's inputting this into QuickBooks? Wendy? Or does everyone have access to it?
I think that they use it in different ways. I think Tammy is expenses. She writes the checks.
She's accounts payable.
Yeah. And accounts receivable, I'm not sure.
Okay, so my question is, there's only a certain amount of things that are gonna come through. So maybe we make a cheat sheet that when they get a fuel receipt, like, oh crap, there's no number on this one. instead of going through QuickBooks and figuring out just a cheat sheet in front of them, all the,
Makes total sense
You
to
know.
me. That, yeah.
Well, yeah,
It's
like
not
Tom
like
said, he
you-
knows
you've
exactly
got-
what his is.
You know,
they do have one.
so that,
Good idea.
you know, any of your
Those
expenses,
are mine
you're
ones.
probably coding them, right?
When you go in it, if you click the wrong line, it throws it into other because it didn't get, it's got that big category, but it throws it into other. It's just a mistake that they made in entering it. It's not I didn't know where to enter it, type thing. So I think one of the things that we've got to do with Wendy is when she's doing the monthly recons of everything, she needs to go through this and look for them. It's like, where was this stuff posted wrong? And they're not,
Clean it up and know where to look.
yeah, they need to fix it as part of the
Correct.
month end, that it got posted to the wrong
Right,
place.
and then that, by that time, we'll have a fresh, clean one we can look at and make sure that Lakes and Beaches is trending right, make sure security is trending right, make sure the admin is making sense with all the expenses coming out, that,
I mean, that goes into balancing the checkbook. When she balances the checkbook, she draws a line in the sand. And then the next month, she runs her 30-day check balance or checkbook, whatever how she's doing it. And whatever all of a sudden hits on this report for that new month that isn't in the previous month, that's more than likely a typo somewhere.
Right.
But to me, employees come and go. Your office manager, you hope to have around for a while. So she's really the constant. She needs to own this and be the only one doing it in my mind. I don't know how you feel. I don't get into the weeds with this with my company.
As far as the reconciliation stuff, yeah, she needs to be the only one for the separation of duties.
Right.
Mhm.
You don't want the person entering it being the one that balances at the back at the end of the month.
So for me, just looking at it kind of fresh, when I started looking at it, it jumped right out at me. Wait a minute, we've got these others and they have expenses with no budget and we have a logical place where they should have gone. So I don't think it's going to be that hard. I'm not even sure these were, a single month's issue. I just think that maybe in past months, I didn't look at it with the same eyes.
well, and
So-
we're all gonna learn, and that's the thing, is that everything that we take away from this table goes in the office. We become better together collectively with all of our experience, and then we be able to teach them better. And then once they teach us better, we'll have this, we can kind of keep diving down into it, and that's why I want to make sure everyone's clear that we're not coming after anybody or making point fingers. It's, we're gonna learn this together, and then we're gonna present to them, let them learn it correctly, and then we'll have a better product moving forward.
So each month when I hand out the profit and loss, my plan is to use this format. So that you always have the budget next to it, so you can be thinking about that. Plus, it makes things jump out at you like, wait a minute, we don't have a budget for that one.
Well, yeah, I think definitely. Well, I can tell you one thing, if we would have got something like this all along, and somebody handed me 6106, I think we would have put that to a halt a lot sooner than we did.
That's the thing, is that they're gonna have some things like, how much report lines?
I'm still trying to figure that 6106 out. That just blows my mind, but.
So when I was looking at all the names on the
12,
retail, we had
24.
the other time.
Yeah, you see that?
It's on an average of a 27-hour work week. And those numbers are outrageous.
Well, same culprit.
Again, I think we gotta go down this list and just get the categories set up. I mean, your main categories and. I guess all the expenses other than interest in these others start at 6,000. And I think we just,
Well, just kind of based on your input, unless you guys feel like you need to be in the weeds of it, we just say, okay, we need is food truck and income? Well, we need to add an account for it.
right,
Yeah, let's
Is-
go straight down the list, see if there's anything we have.
Yeah, let's just go down the list and then let me just take it away, work with it. And then-
Yeah.
It's
Versus
not-
getting the weeds on everything, you know.
Mhm.
So ACC inspectors, I guess we'll jump into expense if everyone's good with the income. Is everyone good with the
Other
income?
than adding food truck,
Add food
yes,
truck.
that's 40, 70.
And feel free to interrupt if you got an idea, because
Yeah.
I will forget it.
Figure out what's in 4360.
Yeah, 4360 and 4440. Is that building rent for downstairs?
Yes.
Okay.
That's- we will take care of the ACC inspectors. We'll talk that over and see if we're missing something, if that's very important, but I don't
I
see a
think,
problem.
yeah, but I think the majority of everybody doesn't take the money anyway.
Yeah.
It's probably one or two.
It's just that now we've had 4 who did.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was the same.
Let's see how many inspectors you lose. Well, you might lose
It's the
4
one,
of them.
it's the one guy that took it.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
Oh, boy. It just never is easy, is it?
No, ACC is an interesting place to live. All right.
Oh, I gotta.
You do it for fun.
All right. Counting,
Counting, what it could be $11,000, what's that, 6023?
Well, that's our accountant, that's our CPA, and so that is what I have to
Well,
get
we've already
3 bids
spent-
on.
we already spent 7,000 of that.
Yeah, and it's going up if we don't clean our act up.
Well, I don't think getting quite an accountant would be very difficult.
No,
I think we can get
I
strong.
think John forwarded somebody, John Irwin.
Yeah, I've got that. I'm gonna,
My accountant actually owns some property in here, so that probably ain't a good
Okay,
idea.
how many conflict of interest do you need? Seriously.
I'm just saying. He owns a lot of it, and he wants his coat cleaned out, so there you go, maybe you got some leverage here.
You put the money to dig it out. Yeah.
right, so, looking at, utilities, we already know, I'm just gonna get that fixed. That just didn't get categorized correctly.
Wait a minute, you're skipping past me. 6007, reconciliation discrepancies, but we got 0 used and no budget. So either that needs to go away or we need to fix it. 6007.
Not on here. We didn't spend any money on there last year.
I don't know if that is a difference of he didn't charge us in the same way. I don't know. We'll just
Okay.
see what that's about.
So I
Probably was
guess
plugging something that they couldn't tie up down in the
here's
past
my
years.
Oh,
concern.
right, yeah.
If there's a number in the left column and we don't have it budgeted, we have to fix it or find a different place for it.
Mhm.
So return check fee expense. I would love that to be 0, but
It was 12 last year.
There's 2 of those.
it's 179 already this year. So what do you throw in there? A couple $100 just to
Well, at this
CYA?
point, You can't. put-
No, I know, but I'm just
Future
saying,
years, we need to put in,
couple $100 probably.
we need to put it in, but at this point in time, you don't change the budget. The budget is set, so we just have. It's an expense that we don't have a budget for.
Right.
What'd you say to put in there on that one?
I said a couple $100 just to cover
Just
your
do
ass.
250.
Yeah,
For next budget.
That's,
Yeah,
you
we'll
know,
put
April.
2024 at this column. All right, so then we got bank service charges. Okay, and then we got contracted
so that
service.
bank service charge is the amount of money they charge us to process the checks and take the payment. What is a bank service charge? Because we spent 2151 last year.
And it's about 90 something dollars a month, it looks like.
What does that cover?
80 bucks a month.
I don't know if we get shot.
I just want to make
I've
sure it's
heard a
not something we're
couple
doing
stories
wrong.
and I
we're
don't
being
wanna-
charged for.
No, I
No,
think
it's probably run as debit cards.
Oh, like
Credit
percent.
card
Yeah.
fees.
Oh, it's probably.
That's what I'm.
Yeah, that's fine.
Anybody that uses a credit card, they can't use a loyalty card no more. Alright. I mean, that's kind of in line with what it's budgeted though.
Yep, we had, last year we spent 2151 with a $1,300 budget, and this year we changed the budget to 2,000.
All right, IT services,
We spent 1,081 last year.
is that the website stuff or is that the IT? The broadband supplier?
Um,
Website's separate, so I think it's.
I think that's like for
If the computers would have
Computers,
failed,
Gates
yeah.
and
I think Gates is Dan. But I think the IT services, I know if we have an issue with our network or whatever, they're probably call someone to fix it.
Mhm.
Where you see Gate.
I just seen that in the different one.
How many-
Another question I had was where does he show up and all?
Should be security.
You can see.
He shows up in the security budget?
All right, internet service, that's website support,
No, I think it was just plain internet.
oh,
Yeah. that's,
insurance,
So the internet service, we spent 1,700 last year. And we raised the budget to 1,200,
wait a minute. What was our budget last year?
1,100.
Oh,
We spent 1,700,
Mhm.
so why,
With his budget was just set incorrectly. So realistically, that budget either needs to go up or we need to figure out, 1,700 hours a year is just over $100 a month, which makes sense. So I think that budget probably needs to move up to 1,800 a year.
Unless they redid the,
so we're
Yeah,
4
internet
months in,
company.
right? We're 4
What's
months
going
in at
down?
628, so we're at about $150 a month, so what is that, 1,800?
well,
Mhm.
it's more like 3 months and 10 days. So it's not a full.
I'd
thing.
say at least 1,600,
Well, that's what we spent last year. We spent 1,700 last year.
so 1,800.
Yeah.
All right, credit card expense again,
But that we have nothing. We're not
and
using
no
that.
budget either.
Mhm,
and that's 6026.1.
mhm.
So it looks like that was done in error.
Tim's all over these points.
So we probably just cancel that, cross that one right out then.
Yeah.
If it's under bank service charges, or where were we at? Well, here's Intuit credit card transaction fees, that's got 0 and 0, that would seem strange as
That's
well.
what we're just talking about. Yeah.
6013 versus 6026.1. I say that just, let's investigate it,
Mhm.
question marks.
We spent $0 into it last year. Credit card expense, we spent $0 as well.
So that may need to just go, it's probably buried in some other
Probably buried in
bank
the,
fees or something.
bank service charge.
Alarm system, $60
there's
and
one of the things when you look at is there's 32,000 budget for insurance. We only spent 2617.
It comes to.
that comes in
April.
big chunks.
So it's big chunks.
It's like
in there.
$30,000 in
Okay.
April.
Okay.
29,570 we spent last year. so
Which
it's right
I
there.
had mentioned to Barb when she was the treasurer to have this prorated every month. And I think they will do that. They may charge you a service fee of 10 or 15 bucks, but I mean, it makes it easier to budget when you do it that way.
And we had also talked about potentially getting quotes, because I don't know how long it's been since we went out for bid on.
I agree.
Because it's not like a contract for that, it just
No.
renews annually.
Well, once we get this budget figured out, we'll go through,
Yeah.
next time we go through it, and we'll divvy out who wants to get insurance quotes, and we all can jump in on that too. So we don't just hammer you guys or hammer admin. We can all jump in and try to get quotes and try to see what's going on with that.
Alarm system, $60. Was that just a repair since we have a 0 budget?
We spent 300 last year, with a $250 budget.
That's interesting. That you 0 it out this year. Okay, that's a question mark. So I would say at least,
300 or 300.
yeah. Just get something on the books. Cleaning. What did we spend last year?
2,100.
I think the current charge is 175 every 2 weeks. Or twice a month,
I don't know.
That's about right.
so that's 350.
The
a month.
office. All this.
2,100 divided by 12.
350 a month.
That's cheap.
It's 175 a month. It's 175 a month.
I just don't understand why our employees don't freaking run through and clean before they leave from there.
Same reason me and my wife don't clean our own damn house.
But no, but that's, to me, that's unnecessary money that we're spending. a year. I mean, there's nothing to freaking clean. To run a vacuum. I don't know. I'm saying, in my opinion, that's.
Cleaning.
That, talk to your admin guy to have that conversation.
Ooh, that bus is.
Well, then we gotta start buying brooms and Lysol and Windex and.
We have cleaned. We'll buy
Well, we have $7,000 to spend this year.
All right, let's take it into consideration.
The thing about it is,
Tim's on backup, then. If they don't get it clean.
Yeah.
Tim.
Yeah.
You know what? If I could say-
Tim, a couple houses inspected a year, a couple cleanings, dude, you might have to go work.
Hey, just tell your cleaning company that does your houses, hey, I'm selling the POA office this month. Pest control, $50 and zero budget. What were we last year?
We spent 150, we budgeted 200.
Last year, I would say probably at least, I mean, I guess that's spraying around the building once or twice a year.
I'd say 200 probably fine.
Okay.
Yeah, they go after the lice.
Utilities, I don't think you can touch electric. Telephone might be in question. Sounds high. $10,000 a year on a telephone.
That's just
Well, that's
lane
probably
lines.
the gates too,
It's
right?
just lane lines. Cell
Right.
phones are separate.
But the gates, that.
The gates would probably be a landline, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
they all
I
are.
think they
yeah.
are. Well, no, I think it is just for the call box or the guest access, right? I don't think I think these are all Ethernet. We could talk to Dan about that.
10,000 a year. I mean, that's like $800 a month, right?
Yeah,
I mean, and I'm skewed because I don't have a lot of experience with commercial stuff, but
Well, I know I don't pay 10,000 a year for phones.
it's $770 a month.
So you got somebody that goes to that back gate and tries to call 10 different people to get in. That's where I would think would start adding up.
We gotta make sure they're on nights and weekends.
I don't think it's.
Are we seriously paying?
I don't think it's.
No, no. No, there's probably 5 or 6 phones in here and then there's the gate down there. That still seems like a lot of money.
well, it's multi-lines, we know that. But,
There is multi-lines?
yeah. That's why you can have 3 people on hold or 2 people on hold.
Yeah, there has to be.
And there's a fax line, but that might be shared.
I love that fax line.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
Stand email, son.
fax is the only method that will guarantee a delivery of data
Like
from
legal.
point A to point B. Yes, that's why attorneys still use
I'm showing my age here, but I have never have sent a fax in my entire life. I sent some pictures before, but never a fax.
cousin was a waitress at a restaurant. She got fired because they asked her to fax something. She didn't know what a fax machine was.
Um,
All right, water sewer, I don't think we can do nothing with that.
so.
That's probably gonna
utilities-
go up.
Utilities, admin, other.
that's gotta be.
Coded
fixed,
wrong.
that's all.
Yeah, I got something on here that says, oh, you're just pointing to the order of it. All right,
Give everybody a time check. It's almost 8:15.
how about we get through page 1 of the categories? And we can do it over else we want to.
Yeah. Dues and subscriptions, we spent 63.78, $6,400 last year.
Well, we have, for example, a subscription to that legal newspaper that we have to have.
$33,615. All year, and then this year we only have 7,000 budgeted.
I don't know,
I think the
It's completely
CPA had them right off.
out of our hands,
like
Some of the stuff we did
old
before.
stuff. Yep.
So that's like a one-time thing almost.
hopefully.
I think it's
Depends
the
on
Wi-Fi.
those
I think this thing's
waves.
bouncing off and on because it's getting a bad signal in here. I don't know what else to do.
All right, start from the top. Yeah.
All right, so we'll pick up, we'll do another meeting next month and or you're gonna go through these
Mhm.
and then clean them up and then. So what else do we wanna talk about tonight? John, you got anything?
Other things on the agenda, which we won't get to everything here, is I sent you the draft of the beach parking communication to solicit community input. So we targeted to send that out in time, so we get the feedback before next, the November regular board meeting. And
I think several of us gave feedback on that, didn't we?
I was gonna say, are we wanting to rediscuss that since there were other questions that got brought up again?
no, I think when I sent it, I asked everybody just to hang on to it and we'll talk about it here when we were together next versus a million emails. Danny, watch out for me that I don't inadvertently hit send. All right, I think a couple numerical things is, unless anybody saw anything that was wrong, is we need to put a number in here for how many hang tags somebody can get. The draft said 6, but
And so
I mean, whatever number.
reviewing, your car sticker does not allow you to park. You have to use a hang tag yourself.
Well, there won't be a car sticker anymore in the new proposal at
Mhm.
beach parking.
Well, even
will
if we
only-
get the other,
Even if we do RFID, that's not a parking.
so I'm just trying to
And no
clarify.
guest passes either.
Mhm.
So it'd just be a total.
The hang
Right.
tag is everything other than pavilion rental, campground parking. Those passes do not change.
Why are we getting rid of the guest passes?
To reiterate, the amount of time the office is dealing with it. The amount of complaints we got that the office is closed and they can't get them, or they gotta leave them outside, or they gotta leave them here, leave them there, and then somebody don't pick them up, or somebody steals them. You're talking,
The overall process.
I've
it's
looked
one
through
tag
it as
away.
well to see what the summer looked like, and there were people that bought 10 one-day passes or 6 to 8 one-day passes. So with us only having 33 spots, you take up, that's already a third of our parking. Just off of the hill, yeah, but I mean, I thought we were wanting to put it to where we're limiting the amount of cars there.
Do we really have a parking problem with that during the, I mean, I don't know.
Yes and no, because there were a lot
I
of
think
people
we
that had
have
the towing
a
issue.
problem with the amount of money the office spends in managing what we do today, the frustration on the homeowners, the security headaches, which turn into rules, which turn into office. So to have multitude of different ways to identify the parking is, frankly, it's a waste of Raintree's money for what we're spending. I mean, there aren't enough parking spots to have a guest pass, a hang tag, a car window sticker to identify that you're allowed to park there. So,
Granted, the long-term goal is also to clear out some of those trees and make another parking area as
Across
well.
from the parking lot, which we do. The issue is the no passes and no stickers and those people being down there and trying to keep them, preventing them from doing it. We have had family days and stuff where we've had 5 or 6 passes. And 4th of July is our busiest weekend. And it is packed down there, but other than that, there is no issues with parking. I want to just make that part
Parking
clear.
availability of spots.
Okay, but you can't make a rule or do something because we only have 33 spots that cars can park. Because we've been doing this, the office has been handing out the day passes and everything else, and we don't have any problems with parking. Eliminating the people that have no passes and no stickers or whatever, get them off, which opens up more of them too.
This isn't about the number of parking spots or availability. It is about simplifying.
Okay, and I understand that,
the process.
but you have brought up several times, there's only 33 parking spots.
Well, let me,
And if I
It
have
is
10
officially.
people,
I think it's a broken process in the office.
no, it's really a broken design. I guess I don't understand. You allow 13 cars to park at the parking lot, right? And they have to have a sticker on their car,
right
correct?
now,
Okay, how is that any different than somebody gets a parking tag that can put it on their windshield or mirror and park down there?
the simplifying and stuff is fine, but like I said, taken away from if somebody wants to have a family day down there and have a barbecue. And then taken away that where they can't,
We're
you know,
not trying to
if they
take
need.
away, we're trying to settle on what is the number of hang tags, because think of today, we sold 1,500 window stickers.
All right, and here's
There's
my
no-
thing with
there's
the
no-
hang tags, okay, real quick. With the parking passes, it is dated. It is easy for security to be able to look at that and say, okay, this is expired. You give 10 hang tags and they get stolen, whatever, then you got people coming down and there's no way when you have, if you're just gonna be giving out hang tags.
That's not true, because the hang tags we can track. Because we will put them when they register in QuickBooks, whereas the guest passes, we have no, give a guest pass out, it goes to the property owner, we don't know who they go to.
Well, yeah, and then whoever uses it, but they're dated and they have the property owner's name on it, which.
I guess I'm still not following you, Tim. If you get 4 guest passes and, or whatever they are, hang tags, and you put it in your windshield, and you truly believe that you're having a family day and you need to park 4 vehicles down there. Personally, it's not, I mean, if you park 4 vehicles down there, then that's probably gonna piss somebody off. Maybe rightfully so, maybe not, but if we don't have 2,200 spots to park down there, I think we're barking up a tree that we can't even defend.
Well, no, and I just.
And both you and Keith have said there's not a parking problem. But do you think the hang tag's gonna change that, not having a parking problem?
I think the idea is
It's a-
they're good with all that. It's just
Yeah.
the guest pass going away.
Eliminating the guest passes.
Yeah,
Guest pass becomes this number of hang tags.
Right.
You have family coming.
Well, he's
here,
saying that you
you
want, that no matter, it's not feasible to hand out 10 hang tags. And they're saying if I had that 2 times a year, why bring 10 people down there?
But you
Okay.
can't do that today anyway.
Right. Do
You
you
have
think 10
window
people
stickers that
parking
you
on that
buy.
hillside is fair?
No, no, I'm not in that frame of thing. I was just saying to clarify.
Right,
But-
okay.
But to bring the numbers in there, you can get 3 guest passes. You get 2 hang tags that were handed out.
You're
when we
limited
got
to the
the
amount
lot,
of gas passes you can get currently.
Yes,
Per day.
3.
3. And you've got whatever car stickers.
You have, assume you have 2 car
So-
stickers, 2 hang tags, and 3 gas passes. 2,
Right.
2, 3, you get 7
So,
people.
Well, you
so.
can get more than 2 car stickers.
Well, I know, I'm
2
just
car
saying
stickers, but
realistically.
we know that we sold 1,500 total car stickers.
Right.
So if you go down the math that a homeowner gets 2, then.
Well, think about that. So if today we get 3 gas passes, 2 car stickers, 2 hang tags. We just hand out everyone 6 gas pass, 6 hang tags total. that's about what you're getting now, only you don't have to go into the office. It would be a compromise to kind of seamlessly transition.
Well, I'm gonna let you know, whenever we have, we got more than 3 guest
Yeah,
passes.
so,
So I didn't know, I know that.
64.
I mean, I had people come from my, work for a work party.
I deal with the complaints at the office. and follow
The complaints,
procedures.
booting the wrong person, tow truck company getting in a fight with somebody.
And realistically speaking, if you have a party like
But,
that,
and that right there is, like I said, that's my own keys thing, is because if you're limiting with hang tags, when I've gotten guest passes before, I was not limited.
well, you understand, so let's
I-
explain.
That's the
never-
broken process
Well,
too.
And exactly, if we're gonna eliminate, if now that I know 3 was the max, then yeah, then
So-
your answer to the question is 7. It's
In
7.
defensive view, so when you guys, you two especially, because you were the main ones down there all the time. When you have your families down there, you have had at times more than 4 cars apiece.
Yeah.
So if you two have a family to get together, gathering on the same day, you're taking up half the hill.
And they're also moving in and out. It's not, like it's.
Well, I mean, I guess the point John's trying to make, and I agree with him. With 13 passes at the beach, you either gotta be a property owner or not, and either you have a hang tag and you're parked there. I mean, we can't prove if the guy pulling in with a guest pass or a sticker on his windshield is actually the guy that owns the lot or house here. So we haven't done anything to fix that problem. My biggest concern is I just don't see how, if this has happened, how have we not had a problem? There's only 13, 23
I think
spots.
that's what we're saying. We haven't had. a
Yeah,
problem.
that,
So this isn't affecting that at all, other than you might not get as many. Well, I mean, that's the number. That's really what we're boiled down here to how many do we allow, right? So you get 6 guest passes, but only once a year you use 6 of them? Is
yeah,
that basic?
it just depends on what you got going on. It's not like every weekend we have 10,
No,
10 cars coming
no.
out.
And there are people, just so everybody knows, they won't buy the $2 sticker. They'll come up here and get guest passes every weekend.
They probably don't get the
People are
emails
coming.
either, I guarantee it.
Yeah. And I mean, the guest passes from being in this office, when they were busy in the peak of the summer and we weren't getting the checks deposited on time, the guest passes are a major interruption.
If they're right there, it's fine.
To business, so.
If it went to there was only 3, which we already know there's tons of broken processes in the office, because like I said, so that right there changes the whole thing. So the answer on the hang tags will be 7, because if you got basically a husband and wife for car stickers, you got the 2 orange hanging tags now, and
Well,
with
to
3
be
extra.
fair, To be fair, the beach and the amenities are really to benefit the property.
Yeah, that's a great point I was gonna bring up. And I know I'll piss off that guy that was in here crabbing that he lived here for 20 years and now he's got a lot and he wants. Personally, this is my perspective, and I'm gonna make both of you mad. But you are a property owner, you get access to everything in here. We don't mind if you bring your guest, but they gotta get a ride down there from you from your house, because why would we allow guests to enjoy our amenities unless they're with a property owner? What we pay a couple $100 or $500 or $700 a year for. It's just not fair to the people that own and live
Well, and the
here.
hard part about it is
Okay.
if you make it easy access for all those people to bring 10 guests, what happens is the beach fills up, because if 3 people bring 10 guests apiece, now the beach is full. So I can't even bring my kids to the beach because it's already
Perspective
full.
of that would be, let's find a parking lot and maybe they can shuttle back and forth easier than having to go to your houses to do it.
Then why even offer guest passes, period? then?
What was that?
So then why offer guest passes, period?
I agree.
You know, our thing is that.
I don't think we are offering that. We don't want to.
The perception as, to me, is that there's no parking for anybody down there. That has not ever been an issue. 4th of July is the busiest freaking weekend. Everyone knows, Keith and I are down there the most out of everyone here. So we know what goes on down there and everything else. Yes, you got Memorial Day, you even have Labor Day. Labor Day is
Yeah,
not.
but they're also parking on the dam. And the-
Well, I mean, I've been down there during the middle of the
Right.
summer, not on a holiday, and there's
Yeah.
200
I
people
just-
down there. How they getting there? Where are they parking?
I mean, we've been parked, you know, across the street.
There's
I mean,
way more people down there every weekend during the summer than we have parking spots for.
Well, and there's people that they meet at the house and they all come down in their golf cart and, you know.
I mean, even
and
at
it's
that
not-
though,
Well,
It's
one of the
not.
things I can address this, in this draft I sent to everybody is we need to officially line out this under the oak tree or exactly where it is, you know, and if that's overflow parking, we need to officially make it overflow parking, because if somebody parks there, you broke the covenant 2J about parking on POA property. So we need to formally make that and get that out of the
Okay,
way.
what's all the gravel and stuff over there? I thought that was.
again, it's irrelevant. I mean, I agree with you, but if it isn't, it isn't. And if we're going to do that,
It might be from the gravel from the pavilion park.
could be, I mean, but what John's saying is if we're gonna
Let's just
park
make it-
people there,
let's
let's
make it-
call it the
let's-
parking lot.
Let's just make it
Well, I
official,
agree,
that, you know, that way there's no.
And that needs to be done anyway, just because roaming.
Yep.
You know, the golf cart people just, you know, like with even having the golf cart, you know, parking spots.
So-
Down there.
So 7, the number we want to go with?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, right now, that's what basically between stickers and what was allowed for guest passes and everything
Now,
else.
we're charging for these things, right? That's where you're gonna
Well,
get
that's
into a
the
tiff with people.
That's the next one is,
I thought
what do you want?
Nick had a thing about the whole package.
I thought about
So
giving them
much.
all at the same time, but I think I'm good with either way.
It
I would-
don't matter to me, but
Do you give the same amount to lot owners as,
Well, today with the hang tag, which I bring it up again, is that you have a house, you get 2. You have a lot, you get none. If you're in the condos, you
Okay,
get 1.
why, and
So-
why is that?
Just.
well, so think about it, if you and your family all come in and get a lot. So you have 4 brothers and sisters. You buy 1 lot, you split the dues. You all buy cards, you all get hang tags. Now 7 of your individual families can come to the beach, use the amenities off that 1 lot access. So we only get dues from 1 lot to upkeep all of our amenities, but
I
now we're
thought-
feeding 7 families of however many people they can fit.
But are all 7 of them on the deed?
doesn't
Doesn't
matter.
matter, because we can't
Why?
prove what property owner has the hang tag at the beach. As long as there's a hang tag, the car's good. So that's our only downside, is we cannot prove who's physically driving the car and that they are a
Can't do
property
that
owner.
now, though.
We can't do that now, though, right?
Well, no, and
So that's why I was-
and whoever that tag is registered to, they're the ones that are gonna be responsible for whatever.
Yep.
Whatever.
In my mind, I think 4 hang tags is about what I would expect. I know that might be a little bit light for people, but man, if you gave 2,500 property owners 4 tags apiece, what happens is you'll fill the beach and paying property owners will go past the beach like, oh, it's full again, and then just kind of motor on.
Yeah.
When people have 7 or 8 vehicles there, it could be 3 parties, but you just keep on motoring on the lake because the beach is too busy. I mean, we've done it a few times. We come down there and I'm, golly, you know?
It is, I mean, like I said, when it's nice out, that
Right.
beach is packed. I went by in a boat and there's no way all them people are parked down there.
And that's one reason why the other 2/3 of the beach needs to be, all that rock needs to be
And
removed.
that's a different argument, but I agree with you. I
Yeah.
agree. I've been fighting that
Because it
for
does,
4 or 5
everyone,
years.
everyone in the 1/3 of the beach, it does, it makes it look like, I mean, and it is busy.
Well, if we don't spend,
Like a lotto for, the PLA.
Yeah.
if we don't spend the legal budget, I'll work with you on that.
What about the money saved? We're already taking that back.
All right, so we're going with 7.
Well, the question was,
Well, this is,
going with 7 free or 7?
well,
If you go with 7, I'd be on board with charging for each one of them individually. So that way, if someone wants 7, they can buy 7,
well, it says you can get up to 7.
up to 7.
And what we're gonna hear from some property owners is that now we're charging them for a right they already have.
Oh, I've already heard that.
Yeah, so I'm reminding us that we're gonna hear that again.
Goes directly in the security budget.
Well,
Right, why can't we
they
do
buy a
that?
car sticker, they buy a golf cart sticker, they buy a boat sticker. We're eliminating
They buy a car sticker for $2. How much are we gonna charge for the hang tag?
I thought we said.
You don't have to buy
I
it.
thought, and I thought the golf cart stickers are gonna be separate, or they're gonna be, it's gonna be a hang tag.
Separate. You wanna do golf
We don't
cart
want them to
stickers?
steal your hang tag.
So I can park a golf cart down there without a hang tag.
Now, when we get the RFID, probably in a separate meeting.
Chances are, there's not gonna be-
You can-
right now, there's no lot owners that have a golf cart, I don't think. I guess in the future that could
Potentially
be.
we'll go RFID.
And that's the problem too, is that, you know, you got a lot of kids in here, right? So you get 7 hang tags, your parents only use 4, come up here, get 3 extras and sell them at school. And all of a sudden we have completely random people, because there's nothing interfering with, you could buy a tick or a card reader and sell the card reader and the sticker to somebody for however much.
All right, let's get rid of all the kids. No more kids.
What age are we talking about?
After
Because
this week.
I'm totally into that. Well, listen, ladies, stickers or hang tag?
And then if they return them, they'll be like $5 a piece, as long as they return them all in good condition. No, like the first year would be $10 a hang tag,
Yes,
Yes,
Everybody,
apparently.
yes.
So, and then the next year after that, and every year after, as long as you return them in good condition, it would only be 5. No, you're fine.
unless you wanna do, for
So
the good of the community, do the first hang tag $2 for each property
there
owner.
you go, you got
Well,
that one.
I think that would go over a whole lot better.
You know, maybe a gimme, or honestly, each.
Or the
home,
first 2 for $2 each. And
Or the first- You get 2 per home for free, and then the remaining ones you can come up and buy. I mean, we're not getting any revenue really from. What, all,
$2. So
$3,000
$15 stickers.
I mean, the $2 is covering the cost of the sticker, but it's
Cost of-
silly, you know, and the idea here is the end game is. We want to gain trust from our property owners to justify a percent increase of our dues to try to pull us out of this thing. And we're trying to do the same thing with ACC, is simplify it, give as many benefits as we possibly can, so when we do say, listen, we're doing all this, but we're coming up flat. The idea would be that they would be more receptive to it because of the way we're acting towards them. So I think that if we gave maybe 1 or 2 for $2 a piece, I don't know how much of that, you know, effort wise in QuickBooks. First 2 are $2, and anything after that is 15 or 20 bucks.
We have
you
to
make it back up.
register them anyway. We have to register the number
So we're already
to
dealing with them.
QuickBooks to know who they are or their.
Yeah, and what you can do is anything additional, anything more than the 2 that you get for $2, you can jump the price to $15 and make up the difference.
I like what you say, but I'm thinking
We're talking about $1 per year
we're
for
already,
5.
we're already charging $2 for a sticker, which we're no longer gonna do until we do the RFID. So why not just charge them $2 for the first 2? And then anything after that, whatever, $10 or $5, or I say $10 for anything after that, and if you return it at the end of the year,
We
or
would need all
whatever.
of them returned.
Okay, yeah, it's
Because
Well-
we're gonna change colors.
But why do we need in return? Why is there even benefit?
you get the $5 back.
And
Why
to
don't we
change
have to?
colors each year. so
Well,
that
we
we
change
know they're
colors,
current.
so that way they can't keep.
As
rolling
people
over.
move out, they're not still using. them.
And if they don't pay their assessments.
Right, but And we would have to do a drop dead date. So your green tag is good until July 1st, July 2nd, it's
We've
not good
already got that
anymore.
on the sticker.
So why do we even care that they're bringing them back?
It's also to cut down on the cost of
Yeah.
this.
We
hang
don't
tags
care,
as
but
well.
Desiree brought it up as a good faith to give them some money back.
Oh, just a fine line.
Right, so the first $2, $2, 3rd through 7th,
Although-
$10 each.
See,
I'm
but
sorry, John, but that would inundate the office too.
That's the problem, is that the amount of time associated, and I'm not saying it's not a good idea. I'm just saying, the idea is to simplify, and I don't even like the idea of.
You have 750 people show up here on
QuickBooks has got
June
11 more
30th.
line items. But the idea would be to simplify, right? So, and that's what originally what I wanted to do, and it's hard because of the dues and we're kind of stuck there, but the idea would be you charge however much, you get 2 stickers for free, but you know, your boat sticker, your golf cart sticker, all of your extra hang tags, everything is in a packet for $65. You pay $65 and it's all in there. and you get a packet of everything that's included.
The only difference is that some people have some things and some don't.
Right,
That would be the benefit. But the boat sticker's $100, so people with boats would automatically benefit. And if the hang tags are 15 or $10 a piece, you would benefit. And then across the board, everyone would effectively, and it would
if you
simplify
did
it.
something like that, the overall assessment or profit on that would be about the same. The problem, I like that idea because I thought about it too, but I'm nervous about if we throw a package of 7 stickers and.
You have to send,
Whatever.
you have to send backup. So you have to send your boat
Right,
registration.
no, I get that, but I'm just nervous if you don't have a boat or a jet ski or a golf cart, or you're out on the market trying to sell those things. Granted, it still goes on you if somebody comes in here and, but, you know, if you sell it to somebody that, oh, hey, you know, we got Raintree, we got these free stickers, or we, you know, $5 a
You
piece.
know someone with a boat, even
But
if
you
you
still
don't
have
have
to
one.
have the boat registered.
I'm not talking about a boat, I'm just talking about somebody coming in here and using the amenities.
I
Like the
think
beach or,
I think the challenge you're running into that is that you cannot. Covenants and bylaws are gonna stop us from doing a package because you're gonna force somebody to buy something that they don't have or use today. Because today everybody buys the sticker for their use. Hopefully, they're not buying them to sell.
So scratch that idea. So before we even get any further down that road, just scratch that idea. So I like the idea of keep the $2 to cover the cost of the sticker itself
for the first 2.
for the
right?
first 2, and then $10 a piece for everything after that, up to 7 total. So that way we don't just hand out a stack of 7. You'll have to make an effort so your kids don't steal them or whatever the case may be. And then that way, if you lose some, you still have the availability to get them back. And you buy 4, you kids lose 2 of them, you come back up and get 2, so you have up to 7 total.
You were talking about going like a, you know, a huge amount.
Brought up that it make it a big amount because you need to pray the people from.
But you only get 7 total.
If it's yeah,
Well,
but if it's
but if you
inexpensive enough and he says, I lost it, well, they'll come back in and get 3 more and now he's got 10.
What if we
Can't
don't
get any 3
like
more. No, it's up to
only
7 total,
7?
total. Number 8,
7 max.
so I come up and buy 4, I just give you $40, or I give you $22.
But you're unscrupulous and you come in and say, I lost my stickers, I need to get them back.
No, I get my
hang
other
tag.
3,
Hang tag.
my other 3, because I'm up to 7. Now, if I lose another 3, I come up and say, listen, I need number 8, that's $365. Plain and simple. And that's the only reason I'm saying that number is because that's the price of a lot, and that restarts your 7 number.
And that's what we were trying to get to.
Right,
right.
Yeah.
I don't know that we're gonna have any way of knowing that you lied.
It doesn't matter on my account, it says how many I got per the lot owner.
Isn't that the
I know,
similar as the
but-
gate card? I mean, we can't.
But when you're down, when the security's down at the beach and he's, you know, he came in and said, I need 3 because he wants 10. Okay, we show he's only got these, but how's security gonna know that he's still using the 3 he said he lost?
I don't care.
That's
I don't
why.
care. Can't get more than
you
7
couldn't get
regardless.
More than 7.
You can't get more than
I don't
7.
even
and
like the 365 deal. I say they
just
gotta
say
wait till
no.
the next year.
Yeah, the next year they won't have those 3 to
No, I'm
return
saying
for
number-
$5.
the number 8 sticker, if you need it, because your kids are just losing them left and right, that number 8 sticker is $365 that day. So that's the charge, that's the price of a lot.
We know for a fact, they're probably not gonna lose them, they're just giving them out to other people.
Right.
Which
Hey,
is
listen.
hopefully the point.
Listen, at $365 a pop, I'll sell them to you out of my own front door. And I'll give the money back up here.
Well, some of them aren't doing it because they lost them, it's to give them out to their friends, and then they'll just collect them back at the end, but the hope is that they'll still use them when they go down there. And if they're messing around, doing stuff they're not supposed to be, hopefully they'll have that tag, and that's how we're gonna get them for the century.
That's how we're gonna get them.
So,
So you're saying if I bought 4
You
and I
could-
come in and said I lost 2.
Yeah.
You can buy 2 more.
Yes,
Right.
But if I got to 7 on the file and you said I lost them,
the next one's the
The
$365.
then it's, or like you said, you know what, you can't.
I mean, we've
You
been
can't re-
getting 7 ways to
you
get in
you
here
can't
forever.
replace- you can't
Well, and then
replace-
that
you
leads
can't
to broken
replace them,
gates.
you wait till
You
next
can't tell them no. You can just make it really advantageous not to. So instead of allowing, because you're gonna have, my kid is gonna be, I did legitimately lose them, or I sold them with a car. If you lose 7, you deserve to pay $365. Seven is a high number.
The only problem with that is being in the office, I have learned that there are people that have no problem with money being an issue. They'll be like, oh, 350, that's
Hey,
fine.
you want 8, 9, and 10? 365 apiece.
Those
I'll
are the
take
same
it.
people,
You
though,
want
that
I'll
have
take
an
it.
issue.
You take 150 or
I'll charge you all for it. 365 a year, you nuts? Yeah, absolutely. 8, 9, and 10 are 365 apiece.
We just expanded the beach.
I don't care. For $365, you can cause issues, we'll boot you, we'll.
Expansion, go fund me.
Yeah.
Are we gonna be able to number these ourselves, or do we have to have that many of each number?
Well, I was gonna get to that too, because Wendy says she always orders them at the end of the year. Do we have to order 1,000 hang tags that we don't even know we'll use 100 of?
No, I think there's a way to barcode, maybe not barcode them per se, but like, there's a way to identify the ones that we've sent, maybe a digit code that includes something in their address that ties that number to their address.
That
Right,
a
that's
security
what we were
guard
talking
down,
about.
a security guard can identify right there on the beach.
Possibly, yeah, but the problem is,
Or
We'd have
not
to-
just
we'd
write
have
down
to
the
look at
number.
which
and
one.
then
We,
that's
there's a
fine.
million
I
different.
think all security guards.
Okay, so back to your point, John, you're gonna get 7 cards. Honestly, I believe if you lose one, I like with charging them an exorbitant amount, but I'm more like, no, you had 7, you got 6 others. If you lost one to get in the damn gate or do whatever you're using, or parking lot or whatever, I don't think we give them an 8th one.
yeah, but then you have people
I
up here
don't-
losing their mind.
I don't think
least when
people are
you-
gonna spend 365. I think they'll knock the gate down, just like
Yeah.
if we had said no.
No, this doesn't help them with the gate.
No, they're saying if they're just so disgruntled, they're just gonna blow right through it. But if they give them the option to pay 365, we might get a couple.
Profit, you're looking for profit.
I'm looking for profit, man. I'm had some stuff I wanna buy.
This is like the last thing we can.
Right, and those people will eventually weed themselves out, because it's gonna become where we've pinned every corner of what they can do down to the violators are getting into this little bunch right here. And we know what the violators are, so we can, you know, with the RFIDs, we can keep them from the gate.
So you can replace we can replace it up to 7 in total. $10 a piece.
Wait a minute, you can replace 7.
No, up to 7.
You can
in
buy
total.
up to 7.
If you bought 4, come in and say I lost 3, you could buy 3 more, you're at the max of 7.
If you lose anything other than this, it's a cost of a lot to get more.
And the property owner has to buy the 7, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Do you honestly think you'll get more people with hang tags down there than you do with licensed vehicles and guest passes on the hill? Than
It's
you,
gonna end up being the same.
okay, that's what I'm thinking as well.
Yeah, like I said,
I mean, if
I didn't know that the guest passes were.
I had no idea.
And in reality,
We've
you
always
still
got
gotta have
whatever
a
we need.
property owner down there, right? I don't know, you guys can vote on it, I think 7 max you get, but
Yeah.
if you wanna charge.
I mean, that's the same way that we have now. We're not changing that. We're not taking anything away. We're not getting anything extra. We're keeping it the
And
same.
the first 2 are still $2, we're not changing that part. You know, just taking away the idea that your car sticker parks you down at the bottom, that goes
And this right
away.
here will help because, I mean, the hanging tags we got now, my dog ate one of mine and stuff. So
Jesus,
I only have one. So every year you have a chance to reach, Doug.
So just quick, go around. Do you want them to be able to replace any lost, or wait till next year?
up to
Raise the
7.
hands if you wanna replace them.
Want to have them able to be replaced.
Up to 7, max total handed out for a given year.
So if they only bought 4, they could come back and get 3 more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with
Yeah,
that.
I'm
We
okay
can
with
always
that.
reconvene on it another time,
Right, see if it's working.
another year or so.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then do you want to charge for if they go past the 7 max, or do you want scratch?
That's up to
Wait
you
till
guys.
next year.
I don't know.
I wouldn't even like
I
them.
couldn't manage 7 additional people.
No, I don't even have 7 people I like.
So if you lose them past 7, you wait till next year.
Probably the same way, right?
Oh, yeah, no, like.
This isn't a motion, right? This is just for going out to
Going for the
survey.
feedback we may get.
Yeah.
All right,
So
so no replace after eight. If you lost, after seven, if you lost them, you wait till next year. Because
That's what
today
I
you can't replace them at all.
Well, we could go for feedback on either. It isn't a motion. We're just getting. people's thoughts.
I mean, we are still waiting to hear from, on a survey, wasn't that gonna be?
Yeah, this is the
Oh, this
communication,
is what we're
this
doing.
is the communication that's going out to get feedback. But we gotta settle on what is in it.
Alan, you wanted to say something? Right,
I think the new place is kind of confusing.
right. That's why I think I was,
You could get up to seven.
Yeah.
If you got all seven and lost three of them, you can't get any more. Okay.
And if you want more, there's lots available.
currently the placard that you get when you buy a piece of property here or a house, you get two of those, right? I was told I've lost one as well, and they told me I can never replace that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Oh, really?
Never.
This summer they were
Man.
replacing it.
Just one of these. What kind of rules do you want, man?
So I don't know,
Tim gets out
where-
like-
honestly, I don't even know where my second one is. All right,
I got two if you're looking to buy one between now and July.
7 tags you can get, $2 for the first 2, $10 for the other 5.
You go with that.
And if you try to buy them on Sunday or after 1 o'clock on Saturday, tough shit.
Now, if you're a lot owner,
Hang on,
We are all lot owners.
Are we gonna do the return?
We just have houses on them.
yeah, just tend to sleep
I
there a
think
lot.
that would be voting on which one you want.
Adult return?
That's up to you. I would say. Personally.
Well,
Cut
that
down
would
on
be-
cost.
That would be only, you have to return all of them that you bought and you get something back on
You get.
the
half off.
3 through 7.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I mean, you would not want to lose any.
Okay, then you're worried about the condition of them when they come back.
Hold on, so that's, we don't wanna,
Well, we're not gonna
we
reuse
wanna
them.
limit this as much as
Mhm.
possible
That's
and
just-
almost automate it.
We are gonna reuse them. I
Mhm.
thought they were gonna be
No.
different colors.
No,
Right, but they're gonna alternate again.
no, brand new tags,
Oh,
brand
No,
new,
they're
buy
not, they're
brand
not
new.
that expensive.
And they're already like laminated
50
color wise.
cents.
That we need to look at recycling them.
No,
I
yeah,
thought that was
no,
the
no, no, that makes sense why you're thinking that way. No, we're not replacing them. We're just take those, fire them in the trash in July 2. If you're seen down here with the green, you're kicking it out on a trash can.
So.
Then
you're
yeah,
right,
those
tow
are-
truck, you really would. So these, on this first page, the one with the years, that would be perfect for us to use.
Then you
Yeah,
have
That
to-
way,
So.
And then every year you get a brand new one, different color, and it's very
No
awesome.
discount
Okay,
on
so if we're not
returns.
returning,
Back to return.
then what's gonna be the final price then?
$10 each every year.
Every year?
the first 2 are $2 and
Yep,
3
first 2 or 3,
through
yeah.
7 is $54. a
They're paying
package of 7.
$25 for a
Golf cart.
card.
The $25 per card, you're paying,
Golf cart.
golf cart's 25 and the boat's 100. And then honestly, what I wanna do,
We can put
whatever.
Your thing on the belt.
what,
We can put your.
do I have to put my name on it?
Package.
You can put your package on the belt.
Well, ideally, if we get an increase in dues, we will factor in all this money that we're spending on car stickers and boat stickers, whatever the case may be. We can factor that all in to the increase, and then you can just get a sticker up here for free. You know, you come up, show me your insurance for your boat and the registration, you get your boat for free.
I'm actually working on being able to order them online.
Right. The idea would be to automate this to a place where you, as a person who lives in O'Fallon, to not have to drive to Hillsborough to get your tags, to drive back to O'Fallon, to drive back down here on Saturday because we're closed. The idea would be in a beautiful world, we can go on a monthly payment schedule. So it just automatically deducts like Hulu or your cable bill. And then annually, you pay your big number up front for all your stickers and all your dues and everything. You pay that up front, and we just ship you the package. So you pay for all your stickers online on a monthly payment. You do it even monthly for all the stickers. And then
So you
on
wanna
July,
ship it, and that way it's not done in person to the property owner.
Are restrictive, well,
right, the idea
it's
would
not
be to,
restrictive to the office being open.
and
Right,
you gotta
but then
remember,
those stickers could go to somebody else.
That's my concern, but I like that idea.
but whether, my grandma comes in here and buys the stickers and hands us to us anyway, we don't have a great way to prove that anyway. I was on the factor of doing a little bit of a blood test when we got to the beach.
That
when I
being
got shot
said,
out.
I don't,
We did a background. for you.
I don't disagree with your concern, but if you buy a sticker and we order it online and we send you a package of stickers, and you give them to your next door neighbor and they come down here and drive their car in the lake, guess who gets in trouble?
And thieves are gonna be thieves.
Right.
80-20 rule, right? So 80% of us is gonna follow the rules and the 20% are gonna cause a scene and eventually get caught anyway.
It's highly unlikely that anybody is gonna do any cheating with a golf cart. They're not gonna give a golf cart sticker to somebody.
Right.
It's probably not gonna happen. The cheating is gonna be with the boats. That's what I have concern about, is that you send out a boat sticker, and my son-in-law is gonna have a Rangery boat sticker on his boat.
Right, yeah.
And if he
My father-in-law's
has
already
any
chopped up the bid.
problems, then Deb Anderson's getting in trouble.
Oh, I trust him,
I'm just saying,
Well, you would have to show,
but that's
you would have
just too
to
many
show.
boats, that we can't have a boat sticker for every property owner.
You can now.
Well, we don't have that many property owners with
Buy that
boats.
Many of them, so the expense would go through. the
What you
roof.
see what I'm saying is that we had the same problem. If I were to give you a sticker for free, or if you bought it for $100, it would still be the same thing. You would still have to show your insurance and registration in order to get the sticker.
Well, not, okay. I don't think that was part of this explanation, but
Beach
okay.
goers cannot park in pavilion parking when it's raining. They're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to.
Okay, so if it's posted, that it's rented, you don't park there.
Also, when we do the,
The campground, they're not allowed to park down there either.
I don't know about the campground. I mean,
It's a long walk up that hill. Can a beach goer park at the campground? No.
No,
And
you
if the
gotta run-
pavilion sign's rented, you can't park there that day. Other
I knew
days
the
it's fine.
pavilion was, but
Other-
I've never seen
If the
anybody park
pavilion's,
there.
if the pavilion's not rented, the pavilion parking is good to go.
Yeah,
In the next meeting, we'll officially make that other area parking, so it's not POA and there's nobody has to worry about covenant parking there. And then the boat ramp parking. Is that supposed to only be for trucks and trailers?
it
Or
should be.
can cars park down there for beach goers too? Long walk again, but
So 4th of July, for example, now, a lot of weekends is not a problem, but 4th of July, for example, beach is packed, you don't wanna go there, so you launch your boat. We had a problem finding places for our boats, cause there was cars parked randomly and, you know, a 2-bay boat slot, there's like one car parked there.
maybe we get some signs up over if that's other parking spots, so people that don't know, know that they can park there as well.
I mean, I know there's been some golf carts parked down there because if they have a friend or something that's getting their boat, they park their golf.
Oh,
cart.
that, yeah.
You know, so, I mean, it's kind of hard to,
Well, what we could do too is find a place to have car parking, designated car,
that
Without a
side
trailer.
works really well. You could back sideways off of the.
yeah, do like an angle,
Okay.
that would be,
a lot of times golf carts. they
So,
park down there gonna be in the.
Real quick, takeaways, Deb's gonna look at the categories and whatnot. 7 stickers at what, $54
I'll
total?
update this, send the draft again before I push the button.
You're gonna work on addressing the new parking lot down there. That's gonna transpire over months to try to maybe get some trees and gravel fixed up.
There's your man right there. Now, can we get the trees and gravel?
I got an axe.
Just
They're
run
gonna
off.
wash down the hill.
We'll have to figure something out over there.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that. And I'm gonna check into the port potty.
This is in the, those are some people. We'll just put
Yeah.
this in the roundup article.
I don't think we have anything else. This was kind of just open forum. Does anybody got anything to say that?
It's very fun.
Wonderfully reassuring to see you guys go through the budget line item by line item and say, okay, where's this money going? What is this? Talking over all these different plans. I mean, it's just, we're new here, but this is the most organized and reassuring that for me.
Thank you.
I think, I know it's a lot of work and you take a lot of shit from people, but.
Hey, I would like to say one thing.
it's that last part that got
So
me.
I don't want anybody ever to think they can't question us on anything. Your wife called and apologized to me because she thought she was too mean to me one night. Don't ever think that. I know, but don't ever feel that way. I do want to say one thing. We have this issue with the trees. That was 6,000. Well, one of them fell down on their own, so we're less at.
Ooh, 5,000.
Tom's gonna meet with a company that I have done work for out here previously, and maybe they come in cheaper, maybe they don't, I don't know. But they will ask for Wendy and ask for you. So if you could just give them a quick tour of what needs to be done, Tom, I appreciate that.
With the trees, do you know that sometimes you can check with the guys at the fire station? Some of those guys do that on the side in their license.
I did not, but we'll see what, oh, yeah, they gotta have a workman's comp. I got the cert, so I don't know, did I send that to you? The certificate from that company? I'll send it to you. I might have not, Tom, I'll send it to you. They're fully covered. Yes, ma'am.
Fancy gal, and I'm so excited we get to talk, because the things that we can talk. Regarding the girls, the office, cleaning ladies make more than they make in here. If I was hired as a data entry person, if I was hired as an accountant, and they said, oh, by the way, you need to clean the bathrooms, the bathroom floors, and dustbin here, it's really getting dirty. My response to them would be, pay me the price of a cleaning lady and I'll do it. If any of you guys were sitting in there doing the data entry and they came in and cleaned the bathroom.
I will say one thing to that, because I make my guys clean and I pick trash up all the time, but in every application that my guys sign for employment, you will perform duties as required. And that may be a required duty at some point. One,
And if they quit.
I will make a motion for adjournment.
Hold on.
Hang on.
Here. I think they do anyway, to tell you the truth, because there's no way it can go 2 weeks without it. Think about your, I've never been.
There is a motion to adjourn. All in favor? Motion passed. Thanks, guys, gals. What?
Oh, you know what? I don't have my.